Hello guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. If you are following us, it's this trigonometry tutorial. So realize that from the previous video or previous chapter, we have dealt so far with trigonometry 1, and now we are moving to what trigonometry 2, where we will be talking about compound and multiple angles. Okay, so imagine you are given you are asked to evaluate sine of 45 plus 45. Is this equal to sine of 45 plus sine of 45? So let's see. We know that sine of 45 plus 45 is the same as what? Sine 90, which is equal to what? 1, right? And we also know that what? Sine 45 is what? Root 2 over 2, right? So if you are adding this will be equal to root 2 over 2 plus what? Root 2 over 2, and that should give us 2 root 2 over 2, and that should give us what? Square root of 2. This is not equal to what? This, right? This is not equal to this. So if they ask you to find the sine of what? Two angles, you cannot write them as what? Sine of 45 plus what? The sine of the other one. They are not what? Distributive. Okay, sine and cosine and even tangent are not what? Distributive. They are not distributive. So in these videos we'll be talking about how we'll go about solving what? The sine of what? Compound angles, like two angles. Okay, so there is a whole lot of proof around these compound angles which we are not really interested in. So I'm just going to really state the summary of all these proof, and then we'll see how we'll apply them. Okay, we'll see how we'll apply them to solving questions. So when you are asked for sine what? A plus B. So these are the formulas, the compound angle formulas. So sine A plus B will be equal to what? Sine of A, then cos of what? B, plus what? Sine of the second angle now, and cos of what? The first angle, A. And then you can have what? The difference, which is A minus B, which will also give you the same thing, but here we can do the same thing and then simplify. So this is minus, so this will be sine of what? A, then here will be cos of what? Minus B, plus what? Sine of what? Minus B, cos of what? A, right? And we know that sine of A will give us what? Sine of A, and then cos of negative B will just give us what? Cos of B. Then sine of negative B will be equal to what? Negative sine of B. So we'll bring negative sine of B. Then you have cos of what? A. So when you are talking about the negative or the difference of angles in terms of the sign, there is what? A negative here. Okay, there's a negative here. Then we can now move to what? Cos, which is also very, very interesting. The cos part is really interesting, so I'll encourage you guys to pay attention. So if you have cos of what? A plus B, it will be equal to cos of A, cos of B. Then the sign here is what? Negative sine of what? A, sine of what? B. And if you have cos of what? A minus what? B, this will give us what? Cos of A, cos of B, then plus what? Sine of A, sine of B. So you realize that the sign changes when it comes to this side, right? This is where the sign changes. When you have plus, when the angles are adding, the sign between them is what? Negative, and when they are subtracting, is what? Positive. So you should take note of that. Then we'll have expression for what? Tan of what? A plus what? B. Yeah, tangent is also important. So there's a whole comprehensive proof on this, which is not really at our level. Maybe in the future I'll do some videos around the proof, but for now what is important is you keeping the formulae and then how to really apply them. Yeah, so tan of A plus B will be equal to tan of A plus tan of B all over 1 minus tan A tan B. Then we can also have tan of A minus B, which will be equal to what? So if you guess, it will be tan of A minus what? Tan of B, and the denominator will be 1 plus what? Tan A tan B, right? So this is what you get. So these are the formulas that we'll be working with. So all these are what? The compound angle formula. The compound angle formula, and you need all these formulas for all the things that we'll be doing along the line. Okay, so with that we'll try to solve some example and then see how best we can use this compound angle formulas. So example 1, let's say you are asked to evaluate or find the value of this. So you have sine what? 36 cos what? 54 plus cos 36 sine 54. So what you can see here is that, so when you compare them, you realize that one, we are dealing with either one of these, right? Because it's sine, they are alternating the cos and sine, so we are dealing with a sine. So sine of, is it addition or subtraction? So the sign here will determine what we are dealing with. So it's what? Subtraction, addition, right? So this will now be equal to sine of, so we are now going to add the angles 36 plus what? 54. 36, 54. That's 90, right? So this is the same as what? Sine of what? 90, which is equal to what? 1, because we know that sine 90 is what? 1, right? So this is how you go about solving this. So let's look at example 2. So let's say we have, they give us what? Sine of pi over 3. Then we have cos of pi on 6. Then plus cos of pi on 3 sine of what? Pi on 6. So if you are following carefully, you realize that these two are what? Kind of the same, right? These two are similar, so they will have the same what? This one. So it should just be what? The sine of what? The sum of the angles, right? So this will now be, so if you add the angles, you are going to get sine of what? Pi over 2. And then when you do that, pi, you know, is 180, and when you divide by 2 you get 90. So here will be what? 1, because you'll be dealing now with what? Sine of what? 90, which is equal to what? 1, like in this case. Now let's take some few more examples. So yeah, let's see how the cos questions will look like. So let's say you have cos 42 degrees, then you have cos what? 18 degrees minus what? Sine 42 degrees sine 18 degrees, right? So if you go back, you realize we are dealing with cos, but which type of cos are we dealing with? Because of the negative here, since we are adding what's the angles, right? So here will now be what? Cos of the addition of the angles. When you add the angles, you get what? Cos of what? 60. And cos 60 is the same as what? 1 over 2. So we also know that if you have two supplementary angles, 30 plus 60, if the sum of them is equal to 90, then sum of sine of 30 is equal to what? Cos of what? 60. I'm just trying to remind you guys from trigonometry 1, and we know this is half, so this is also definitely going to be half. And we have seen a comprehensive proof of why they are half and pi square root over 3. All those things we have dealt with them. So if you have not seen all those, I think you should go back and then watch those videos. Thank you. So yeah, so that's just some of the examples that we can get along what the compound angle formula. So some of the examples that we can also get is when they ask us to what, find the compound, find the value of some angles. Let's say you have to find the sine of 75 degrees without using the calculator. How are you going to do this? So you realize that 75 degrees is the same as what? So first you have to express the angle that you have been given in terms of what? The special angles, okay? The special angles in trigonometry. So example is what? 30, 45, 60, 90, yeah, those angles, 15 and co. So you have to express the angle that you are giving here in terms of what? Two of this together. So by we realize that 45 is the same as what? 30 plus what? 75 is 30 plus 45. So this will not be equal to what? Sine of what? 30 plus what? 45. And when you bring the compound, when you express it in terms of the compound angle formula for sine, that will give us what? Sine of 30 cos of what? 45 plus what? Sine of 45 cos of what? 30. And then we know that sine 30 is what? 1 over 2. And then we also know that what? Cos 45 is square root of 2 on 2 plus this will give us square root of 2 on 2, and this will give us square root of 3 on 2. So when you multiply and add, you get this over 4 plus square root of what? 6 over what? Over 4, right? And then when you add this will give us square root of this plus square root of 6 all over 4. So that will give you the final answer to that question. You can factorize square root of what? 2 out, right? You can factorize square root of 2 or square root of 2 or 4 out, and this should give you this. Yeah. So yeah, this is the final answer to when you're asked to express anything sine in this form like that. So you can try this example. So try this example and leave your answer in the comment section. So if you have cos 105 degrees and you have cos 75 degrees, try these two examples and leave your answer in the